Welcome to Ground Control and part 2 of the review of the Eachine Mini F4U Corsair. In the last video, part 1 of this review, we performed the maiden flight and an additional flight. We found out that after the maiden launch, I needed to apply some trim to the elevator because I did not have any elevator authority. A little bit of trim on the elevator took care of that issue. The plane flew great, although I did feel like it was slightly nose heavy. Now, those two flights were both performed with the stock battery that came with the plane, which are 400 milliamp hour 1S LIPOs. Today we're going to go out and we're going to test it with a lighter weight battery. We're going to use the stock batteries that came in the Eachine Mini P51D Mustang, which are 1S 360 milliamp hour batteries, and I've weighed both batteries, and the 400 milliamp hour battery is 1 gram heavier than the 360. So we're going to lighten the plane up by 1 gram, and since the battery bay is forward of where the CG is, that should lighten up the nose a little bit. We'll see if that lightens it up enough, or if we need to add a little tail weight to this plane to get it, flying the way I would like to have it flying. I found that when I came in for a landing, I could not flare the plane to set it down nice and easy to keep it from nosing over. I mean, it wanted to nose down when I was coming in at slow speed, which tells me it's a little bit nose heavy. In the last video, I talked about making adjustments to the control surfaces. I've decided not to do that yet until I get the CG balanced, because when you change the CG, you also tend to change the handling characteristics of the plane a little bit. So I'm going to use the methodology that I always like to use in solving problems, and that's divide and conquer. So I'm going to get the CG balanced correctly first, where I like it, and then we'll look at what needs to be modified on any of the control linkages. The elevator seems fine, and it didn't seem real abrupt like the P51D Mustang did. So I'm not sure that I'm going to have to modify the linkage on the elevator. I will definitely be modifying the linkage on the rudder later on, just because I like more rudder throw for different maneuvers. And although there was a lot of throw in the ailerons, it didn't seem too abrupt either. Even in intermediate gyro mode, you just have to be a little careful. You don't want to push the stick on the ailerons all the way over unless you're wanting to do a roll with it. So we'll go out and we'll test the weight of the 360 battery, see how that works, see if we need to add any additional tail weight to it, and then we'll come back here and discuss what we figured out today in these test flights. So I'll see you out the field.
Okay, I still have it in intermediate gyro mode, and I have the stock battery that comes with the P51D Mustang, the 360 milliamp 1S LiPo. Get my timer started here. So let's get it in the air. Trying to track this thing. You know what? I think the lighter weight battery feels better to me. try another loop. Yeah, I think so. I think I like the lighter weight battery. It seems like it's lightened up the nose a bit. And I assume it's probably because of the shape of the wings, you know, that kind of gull-shaped wing, that when you get to a certain angle, it kind of wants to drop the nose a bit. A nice loop, and the loops are much tighter than they were, and I think that's because the nose is lighter. Cool little plane. Kind of lost orientation on it there for a minute. It's a, you know, a dark plane against this dark sky. But it's very maneuverable. It doesn't have any problem pulling loops. It's fast. It's very agile. As you can see, you just got to be careful with how much aileron you give it. Full rudder, not quite full aileron, doing those return to target maneuvers. I think it's because of those gull wings. It will want to invert on you. So once you get used to that, you can do these return to target maneuvers. Hey, there we go. A little bit of a barrel roll there. Let's see if we can do that again. Whoa. That didn't quite work out. Alright, there's my timer. Alright, so let's bring it back around and land it and see if the nose seems as heavy as it was during the last landing. Okay, cutting the throttle back. Still seems a little nose heavy, not quite as heavy as it was before. Okay, I'm out here just testing some tail weight. I did not have any coin with me, so I took a pigtail adapter that I had in my kit and just used some painter's tape to attach it to the back side of the fuselage just to add a little bit of tail weight. I don't know precisely what the weight is. I'll weigh it when I get back. But even with the lighter battery, to me it feels just slightly nose heavy. So I want to see if this makes, you know, how much of a difference adding a little tail weight to this will make. So let me set my timer. I still have it in intermediate mode gyro. See which way the wind's coming from. Alright, let's get in the air. Slow it down a bit. I don't know yet. We'll We'll see how it reacts. It may require some trimming too. Oh, that seems to confuse the gyro a bit there. Yeah, it's definitely lightened up the nose. I think it may be a little bit too much weight. I'll have to weigh it when I get back to the HQ and see exactly how much weight I've added to the tail. But I think that's a little bit too much. And you know, when you're in a tail heavy condition, you can actually make the aircraft too maneuverable. Like that. Okay, so I lightened up the tail weight on it a bit, and I still have it in intermediate gyro mode, and I put a fresh battery in it. Okay, let's get it in the air. Intermediate gyro mode. See how this feels now. Bring it down a little bit. Into the sun. Oh, that was a tight loop. Just testing out how it feels with the added weight. Sweet. Bring it down again. There we go. See if we get that barrel roll again. I hope you guys could see it against these clouds. I think that tail weight has almost got it. I think I need to lighten it up just a little bit more on the tail weight. So I am going to, check that out. Cool. So I am going to check out exactly how much weight I've added to the tail when I get back to the HQ and lighten it up ever so slightly. I think that it does need just a tiny bit of tail weight. Sweet. I think maybe because of the wing shape on this, I think it's a little bit easier to do those barrel rolls in intermediate gyro mode. Well, they've got another awesome little Micro Warbird here. I need to make some adjustments to it to match the way I like to fly. But yeah, cool. Very nice. And I think that it does need a little bit of tail weight, but I think what I have on here right now is just a little bit too much. Makes it just slightly tail heavy. So the balance is really, really close on this plane. Very close. I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't like 0.3, 0.4 grams is what it needed on the tail. Nice. That was a nice roll.
Okay, so the 360 milliamp hour battery did lighten up the nose a bit, but I felt like it was still too nose heavy, so we added some weight. I don't know how much weight I originally had on the tail. It was obviously too much. It created a tail heavy condition, but when I took that off and added a lighter weight, basically taped an adapter to the back of it. When I got back, I weighed that with the tape that I had it attached to the plane with, and it came out to about just under a gram, 0.98 grams. And I still felt like that was maybe just slightly too heavy, and I mean just a tick. I mean, I like the way that it handled much better with that second weight test than I did the first. The first was obviously too tail heavy. But I'm thinking that something around, I was thinking between 0.7, 0.8 grams might be the perfect tail weight to put on this to get the balance just, you know, kind of a neutral balance where it's not tail heavy and it's not nose heavy. So I'm going to split the difference, and I'm going to see if I can find a weight to attach to this that's precisely 0.75 grams. And then I'm going to take it out, and I'm going to test that weight one more time and see how the balance feels, and then at that point determine whether or not I need to change any of the control linkages on this plane. But great flying little plane. I like it a lot. I think once I get the balance worked out, this plane is going to handle in the air just like the P51D Mustang, and I absolutely love that plane. So this is another excellent plane from Eachine. I really like it. I just want the CG balance a little bit differently than it comes stock. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the air.